Hello, you are listening to Chasms of the Mind with Chaz Bruns and Cat Gould. And today we are talking to the sexy, smart, talented, amazing duo from Portland, Oregon, New Constellations. We're going to chat about their music, aliens, and whatever the hell else we feel like. Enjoy. Here we go, we're live. So where are you guys at right now? Because you're definitely not in Maine with us where it's frozen tundra of snow.
We are in Portland, Oregon, and we have zero snow at all.
Yeah.
What's the temperature there right now?
I would guess in the 50s.
But it's sunny.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's sunny in the 50s?
Springtime.
Yeah, that's going to be us in 4 months, maybe.
Yeah, it's not necessarily sunny. It's pretty cloudy.
I mean,
Hey,
it's like
you know what?
sunny-ish.
It was 6 degrees here this morning, so I'm
Oh,
jealous.
man.
Holy moly,
Oh.
yeah, that's what.
We
Yes.
today are interviewing from all the way in Portland, Oregon, New Constellations. They have, is it two new singles you have out, right?
2 out, yes.
Yep.
2. And so it's Harlee Case and Josh Smith, who, if you go to his Instagram, it is not Josh Dortag, like I thought his last name was. It's Josh Smith. So don't make that mistake. So first off, I guess, tell me a little, I know you guys were childhood friends or something, right? So tell us that story of how you got, you obviously knew each other forever, but then how it turned back into doing New Constellation music and how the magic occurred.
Do you want to answer? You want me to?
We used to go to youth group together.
Oh, really?
So,
how old were you
like,
there?
I was like maybe a freshman in high school, and Harlee might have still been in like in 7th grade. But we went to the church in our town had like a really cool youth group that had like skateboards and like video games and shit, like in the.
Wait, you guys weren't in like the choir, were you?
We did
singing?
we did
I
play
wasn't-
music at the
You
church.
did. I was not allowed to. I was a pastor's kid, and I was deemed like kind of like the bad pastor's
the
kid,
bad
so
girl.
they would not allow me to sing on the worship team.
Wait, what
Um,
got you the bad name back then? What did you do that they thought you were bad?
Being loud,
Just
being
being
loud,
ourselves.
being like really friendly to people, like yeah. like-
Jesus did not approve?
Apparently not.
I think he does approve. You know.
But so
he
that's
does
how
now.
Yeah. So that's how we met, is at church. But then I moved away from the town that we lived in. I'm a little older than Harlee, so like I graduated school and moved to Portland, and then Harlee stayed in Southern Oregon for a while, and we kind of did our own thing musically. I was played in bands up here, and she was doing her music down there. And then when she moved up to Portland, we just kind of decided to try to work on music together. Yeah, and it's
Cool.
been going really well.
So
Yeah.
I actually met Harlee in Thailand when we were going to a mutual friend's wedding, and there was one day we rented little mopeds and we were going around, and she was riding on the back of mine because I think we had run out of the available rentals. So I'm trying to talk to her as we're riding, and I'm like, so like, what's your plan after when you get back to the States? And she's like, I'm gonna start writing music with my friend, and I'm gonna get famous, and that's gonna happen. And I was just
Yeah.
like, okay. And then I messaged her like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, do you remember saying that to me in Thailand? And it came true.
It's happening for
Is
sure.
Isn't that something else? That's like the book, The Secret, right? Which will it into being, and it will be.
Absolutely, and I feel like I have my entire life, my family too, has been like, this is 100% what you're supposed to do. You just need to put your energy into it. Like and it's been really clear, like the moment that we like really buckled down and like just started like putting our all into it, like the universe is just like giving back so effortlessly.
Yeah. Well, so talk about that a little bit, because I follow you guys on Instagram and other places, and I saw that at one point your Spotify had 1 million plays, right? And I don't know what was the course over the first year of the first single, because you just released the second one like a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And what are they both called, the track titles?
So Hot Blooded is the first single that we released, and then Does It Feel Like This is our most recent. But yeah, Hot Blooded has just absolutely soared. We got 1 million more streams just in the last month. We're at like,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Are you
we're
kidding?
about
No kidding.
3.5 million right now. And it's just every day there are more streams than the next, and so it's just like snowballing. It's very exciting for us.
Okay. So the other thing I saw was that you got on the Gorillaz put you on their playlist, right?
Yeah.
That's
So like
something else.
Damn.
So the Gorillaz are like 4 cartoons, right? It's like each
Yeah.
they're like each character. So they're like guitar player noodles. Like it's like each character had their own playlist, and so
okay.
the Noodles character, their guitar player, she put us on hers, which is cool.
What'd you think when you woke up to see that?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, blown away.
Yeah.
Like all week long, we were just like, okay, this has like been one of our favorite bands, and just like such an incredibly influential, like just incredible musician. So we're just really blown away.
My brother's walking to take his dog out. You want to say hi to Harlee, Andy? Andy was in Thailand with us too.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can put behind this table.
Hi, Andy.
He's putting on like 40 layers because it's so damn cold to go outside to let the dog out.
Hi.
Long time no see.
I actually
Congrats on the band and the success. This is great to hear.
I don't think Andy can hear you
Thank
guys.
you.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Oh god.
But she's happy to see you, Andy.
No, I was just gonna ask what it felt like when you guys hit 1 million on the first single release. When you guys hit 1 million.
Because that was what, 6 months ago that you hit 1 million?
I know 3 months ago. It was the end of October that we hit 1 million. So it's the growth. It took 11 months to hit 1 million, and then now 1 million in a month, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was like really. That was something that I was like manifesting when we put it out. I was like 1 million streams, 1 million streams. Like that was like a really big like moment that I wanted to hit, and so yeah, I was like very, very excited and proud that like 1 million times it had been listened to.
Yeah. And then it's just the growth is like exponential now. So like Harlee said, it took 11 months to get the first million, and then we got another 2 million in like 2 months after that. Basically.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's just going to keep growing and growing.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It really it feels that way. I'm like pretty addicted to watching the statistics and the analytics. I like wake up every morning and I'm like, oh my gosh. And like we're at a 70% increase from last month, which is just an insane amount of growth. Like
Congratulations.
Almost every day, almost
Thank
every
you.
morning, Harlee will text me and be like, "Oh, did you see how many streams you got yesterday?"
it's exciting.
People seem to love the hook of the new one. Does it feel like that?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I can't do it justice,
Totally.
but it's great. I love it. I can
Thank
get it stuck in
you.
my head all the time.
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning, be in the shower, and be like, "What am I humming?" And I'm like, "Oh, Harlee's dance song again."
Oh.
Stuck in my head.
Harlee, do you do the writing or do you guys do it together? How does that work?
So our process has kind of shifted through just through the evolution of the band. I was really, really timid and scared of just writing with someone and working with someone at the beginning. So I would send him voice memos. My car didn't have a radio, and so I just like would drive around and sing and make up songs and like basically unloaded tons and tons of stuff to him. And so our first songs were
Poor Josh.
were really in that. He got to really like listen to my diary.
Exactly. It was like I was reading her diary sometimes because it was like 3 years of just
She's like,
her.
"Great, another text from Harlee."
Just like it would be just her singing, whatever she was feeling that day, and some of them felt really intimate. I'm like, oh my god, it's just like listening to Harlee's like just pure, unfiltered thoughts as she's just like singing in the car.
But so that was the way that we used to write. I would send that, and then he would build the song around it. But as time has went on, and we've like built so much trust. We work a lot more together through the practice. He a lot of times will come up with like a really a more broken down just like loop, an idea, and then I'll work on a melody and lyrics on my own, and then we'll come together and like see what we like and see what we don't like, and then build upon it. I write the majority of the lyrics, but Josh definitely would be like, oh, if that I just heard this line, or like this sounds really cool here, and so we're both really just open to each other's opinions on the process in general.
Cool.
We'll get like a groove. We'll get like a groove going in the space, and Harlee's really great at just kind of singing gibberish to kind of get a melody or like a rhythm down or like a cadence. And then a lot of times
That's the best way to do it.
We just listen back to the gibberish and try to see what words it sounds like she's saying, and then kind of build it from there. It's like once we lock one, we're like, oh, it sounds like you're saying this. And then when we have that kind of line, sometimes it's like, okay, well then now that's what this song is about. So like we can build the rest of the lyrics around this.
Or like looking back to it and being like, oh, we were just working on this new song last week, and I recorded like everything, and I ended up just picking up like breaking apart like a line from here, a line from there, because like a lot of it's just not making sense, but sometimes there's some like golden shit that's like in there, and I'm like glad to have it recorded so I can pick it apart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sometimes even the gibberish is like good on the first round.
Absolutely.
You know, you're like, wait, that actually
We've
makes
got
sense.
a lot of songs that like the way that they're currently written are just because that's how Harlee sang it the very first time. Just like going for it. And we're like, oh, that's just how this song goes. Nailed it first try.
I really like to believe that, like, you know, there's life force energy that we can like allow through us and out of us. And so I feel like when you do that kind of freestyle thing, you get out of your ego and out of your head, and you're just like, okay, like, let's let it just flow through. And I feel like that we get a lot of that when freestyle.
Yeah, totally.
You guys ever hear that story about Michael Jackson that he like woke up at 3 a.m. and he called his recording, whoever guy was going to help produce him. He's like, I need to record right now. And he's like, Michael, it's 3 a.m. He's like, we can do it tomorrow. He's like, no, because if I don't record the song right now, Prince is going to record it.
Yeah, I heard
Because he believed that, just like you said, that the life force comes to anybody on planet Earth, and whoever accepts that song when it's ready gets the song.
That's very funny. I've never heard that story, but
I like
no,
that.
there are definitely times where I feel like we've talked about this, where it feels like we're not so much like writing a song as we are like discovering a song, and like things will be happening, and we're like, did we write it this way, or is this just the only way that it could have gone? Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, did we write? Did we know that this part had to come next, or did that part just come next, and we had to discover that? So there's definitely a feeling of like.
Crazy.
Speaking of you guys doing it yourself, I take it you're not signed with anybody, right? You're still doing independent everything?
Basically, yeah.
We have, basically to get all of your songs out on platforms, you have to do it through a distribution. So we have a distributor that we're working with, and they have ended up licensing the 2 songs that we have out, basically help us with the digital distribution side of it, which we thought is a really smart way to do it, because we're like, we have so much capability and like access around us that like signing our band to a label doesn't really make sense right now. We just need help with certain things. And so, yeah, this is a good way for us to keep it kind of separate. Like, we can throw shows and don't have to give anyone money, sell merch, no one gets a part of it. Like, we just get help with the things that we have to give money out to the things that are actually being helped with.
It seems to be working so far.
Totally.
Yeah.
So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Oh, we record all of our music ourselves. We're in our studio right now, so like we're completely independent in that sense too, where it's like it's just us in here.
Do you master it yourself too?
No,
Or do you
there's
send it away
a guy in town Portland guys, one of each has mastered 2 of this. Of the 2 songs we have out, we have 2 separate guys that have mastered each of them once.
That's what I always struggle with my music, is mastering at this point. It's like,
it makes a big difference, and like it's not that expensive either, you know, to be like at it. Yeah. It feels good to eventually put something out of your control, kind of. Yeah. The weird, like, doing everything ourselves, and we were discovering, like, with electronic music, there's like so much that you can do, and sometimes like you kind of get lost in the possibilities almost. Yeah. Like, it's impossible to decide something because it feels like there are so many different choices you could make. So I think I find some comfort in that, and sending it out at the end to be like, okay, and now this person's going to master it, or, you know, help mix it, and relinquishing that control feels good.
It also is hard as hell.
Yeah.
Like, anybody can open GarageBand and like make some music.
Totally.
But mastering really is a fine art. Like, there's a reason that, you know, the few ninjas have learned the art over the years, and they charge good money for it.
Are you guys playing anywhere live right now, or is COVID kind of restricting that?
No. I mean, yes, we are playing shows. COVID definitely did restrict it. We worked on, so when I linked up with Chaz in Thailand, we had actually been working together writing music for about 2 years. And we had our first show booked for right when we got back, and it was this week that shutdown happened. So we were like preparing for 2 years, had our first show, we're not able to play for another year and a half, which was so crazy to be like, whoa, like anything can be taken from you at any moment. It very much so felt like, damn, okay, so like we gotta like jump on this shit when we can, and we have been. We're actually playing like our biggest like real show. We've thrown a lot of our own shows, which has been really cool, and you know, helped us grow in a really organic way. But we're playing at an actual theater called Mission Theater on March 12th here in Portland, and we're really, really excited for it.
I think it's going to be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I wanted to, 'cause I didn't want to tell your story because I barely remember what you said, but I was asking you who your influences were in Thailand, and you said Dave Matthews, and then didn't you say you had a Dave Matthews story?
I mean, so we love Dave Matthews. We go and watch.
Oh, you both do.
Yeah, we go and watch them at the Gorge every year for 3 days. Every year, our group gets bigger and bigger, and that's like one of our biggest goals is to open up for Dave at the Gorge. It's just it's an incredible experience that we would just be honored to get to like be involved with. But I did meet Dave Matthews one time because he was in the small town that I lived in, that we grew up in, and my friend was like, yo, I'm working at the coffee shop, and someone just came through, and they said they're doing a zipline tour for Dave Matthews and his family. So I'm a psychopath, and was like, there's only one zipline place, I'm going. Me and my boyfriend at the time went there, and it was like 4 hours that we waited, and there was just it was on a golf course, and so there was like $2 beers. So we proceeded to get pretty drunk, honestly, over this like 4-hour span, and they told Dave that we were there waiting for him, and so he came over to us when we got there and was just like, thank you so much for waiting for us, and like signed a record for us and like took some pictures, and he was just like just so gracious, and it just furthered our obsession.
So did you tell him then that eventually he has to let you open for him? So he needs to know, you know?
Okay, this is before we were doing this, but I am going to, sometime in the near future, write them a DM and say, hey, I just want to let you know that we are going to, like, open up for you in the future, and I just want to have this record so when it happens, we can look back and be like, damn, they knew.
Yep. I think it's going to happen at your 7 millionth play. 7 million, they're going to reach out to you. I'm putting that in the universe.
7 million, I like it.
We actually do a pretty cool Dave Matthews cover as well.
Oh, really?
In our set sometimes. That's like the super like vibey kind of electro cover of one of their songs.
Have you recorded it? Is it something we could hear out in Spotify?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
But I think we absolutely should release
That's certainly our ticket in, I think, is like doing a cool cover of one of their songs. And then
I'd check it out.
Like, definitely.
Tweet it to them or something. I don't know.
I'll be the intermediary. I'll just start spamming. I'll start DMing Dave for you guys, so they'll think I'm the weirdo.
We like to play that song. We like to play that cover, and but not tell people that it's a Dave Matthews song. And then when they like it, you're like,
oh, so you're a Dave fan now.
So you're like this Dave Matthews. People are like, that's a good song. I'm like, you like it? It's funny because.
Chaz, didn't you have a Dave thing too? Didn't you hire them for a festival or something?
Oh, I didn't know. So there's a festival that I started, which is now sadly defunct, called the Kabang Festival in Bangor. And the guys that kind of took over the waterfront are doing it now. That's called Waterfront Concerts. And they have booked Dave not once but twice. And the cool thing for me was my birthday is June 7th. And the original festival that was in the center of downtown was called the West Market Festival. And so me being me, just loving myself, I wanted to throw a huge birthday party for myself. So that's kind of how it started.
Shocker.
Right?
Nice.
All about me. And so then the guys, my friends that ended up running Waterfront Concerts, he never outright said he did it for me, but I'm pretty positive that he pretty much booked Dave twice for me on my birthday because he came on June 6th
nice.
two different times. It wasn't on the exact day of my birthday, but it was good enough. But I was unlike you, I was too nervous to ask to meet him because I didn't want to be that guy. So I didn't. But looking back, I should have done it. Should have gone backstage. I should have done all that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a more shameless moment in my life, but
Yeah.
Oh no, you were golden. And look, you have a story now. I don't have a story, so it paid.
You'll get yours.
We go and see them at the Gorge every year on Labor Day weekend, and like every few years, that's my birthday weekend as well.
Nice.
So,
cool.
I know that vibe. Seeing Dave on your birthday, be like, "This is about me."
Exactly.
Yeah, I love this song.
This is my concert.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to meet Dave once you guys open for him, so I'll be there that night.
There you go.
Go backstage, have some beers with y'all. That's awesome.
Exactly.
How'd you guys come up with the band name, New Constellations?
Oh yeah, it is a great name.
Yeah.
I love your.
We originally wanted to name our band Monstera, and we're going by Monstera for a little while. But then online there were just like so many other Monsteras, and then like right before we were about to release our first song, another group called Monstera released a song that was like
too much like us.
Not like the song didn't
Really?
sound like us, but it was like the same type of band. It was like two-piece,
like,
kind of electro, girl vocals. So we're like, we don't need to like have the same name as this band. So we just brainstormed a ton of names
forever.
and we're like,
forever.
yeah. But it was actually
On
at
Halloween.
Was it on Halloween or was
Yeah.
it at the Gorge?
No, it was on Halloween. We were on the floor, and you were like, we were like, new Constellations. It's it. We had like given lists and lists for honestly like a year. We were gonna put out Hot Blooded like a whole year earlier, and we could not figure out the name that like clicked.
We were like, we wanted it something kind of spacey or like, you know, something to do with the cosmos kind of. Yeah. So we had a lot of cool names, but then New Constellations was just one that we finally were like, all right, that's it.
And did you check? Are there any other bands out there with any similar name, or you were it?
No, not really.
There is like a really small band from like 10 years ago, so you can like find some like Facebook concerts and stuff, but not anything.
Cool. I just want to let you know I have purchased newconstellations.com. If you want it back, it's going to be $30,000. So
New Constellations.
Amazing.
I didn't want to tell you that here, but you know it's better to take a band-aid off. I wanted to ask you too. So I don't even smoke weed because if I smoke weed, I kind of like fall asleep or I get anxiety because I can't talk to people at a party. But I know you're the opposite and you love it. I wanted to talk to you about is it Lady J's is your weed company? Because I love the marketing. Like I said, I don't smoke weed. I would smoke your weed because it looks so cool. Like the pink designs. You're a master of marketing because you're a photographer too, right? You do all kinds of. You pretty much do all the marketing with all your stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a team. There's 5 of us, 5 women who work on our team. Well, it's technically 4 that are like actively working right now. But so we all work together on like the whole outward appearance of all of it. But yes, I creative direct like all of our branding and, you know, have the final say on what we're releasing.
Well, because there's 2 things, right? There's Lady J's are the joints, but then isn't there something like Ladies of Paradise or something? What is?
Yes. So Ladies of Paradise is a creative agency, and we really got our footing throwing cannabis consumption parties all up and down the West Coast. And our whole mission was to stop over-sexualizing women through cannabis and also to like bridge this gap and be able to market towards women and create safe spaces for women to come and feel like they can get high or listen to music. We usually have like tarot readings or different dance activities and just like fun ways for us to kind of like show the world things that we believe help us. And so that's what Ladies of Paradise is. And then Lady J's is a pre-roll company. And we're also about to launch an edible company called Venus Electra. And they're all kind of in the same wheelhouse of like, of believing in yourself and following your dreams and inevitably knowing that like you create your reality. And so it's really important for us to, on every single thing that we're putting out there, that it's like that message is coming through. Because ultimately, like, that's what I feel like my purpose on earth is like, is inevitably like to help people see the like insane magical being that they are, because we literally all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Like I said, I don't smoke weed, but every time I see your ads, I'm like, I'm gonna buy some of those joints.
I wish we had one right
Thanks,
now.
Chaz.
No, so when you said you get all together as women, is Josh allowed to come and participate, or is it girls only?
Yeah, so we started the company with doing only parties of women, but then we realized like that's just not the way that it is. And like for us to have like this whole full connective life, it's both, you know. And I think there's a lot of spaces for women to come together and express and grow and communicate and be seen. And there's less spaces like that for men. And so our goal is women, because we just feel like we want to continue to have women be the shining part of the business. But like now all of our parties are to men and women, and we really, I mean, I feel like the amount of like divine masculinity that's like in my life is high, and like we have to have that balance of masculine and feminine to like really heal and help each other. And so it's for everybody now.
That's awesome. I was mostly asking because I'm going to invite myself to your next.
Oh, you can come whenever you want.
Cool.
We're going to be in Oklahoma, so that's closer to you.
Oh, really? What do you do in Oklahoma? That's another big show?
No, we just launched Lady J's in Oklahoma last week, and then we're launching this
that's
edible
right.
company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So, do you think you're just going to become this huge international weed goddess then? Is that the trajectory?
So I really hope that, because the missions of both of the two things are very similar, and so I hope to be able to use both of them to help each other. You know, the community that is surrounding the band, a lot of that came from the group of people that had been supporting this business, and so I'm excited for like the teams to get bigger and bigger. Like, it's been really cool for us. Like, getting to have like our friends invoice our distribution for artistic work that they're doing for us. And so we really hope to continue to share monetarily and energetically with all the people that are supporting us in both of those endeavors.
Cool. And then, Josh, I want to ask you, what's your day job outside of the music? She plays with weed. What do you do?
Yeah, I work in coffee. I make coffee. Work.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I've been working in specialty coffee for a long time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the brand?
The cafe company I work for now is just called Barista here in Portland. It's kind of like the top.
Yeah, it's a really popular spot.
Yeah.
Is it stereotypical Portland, Oregon, like what we would think of the cliche? Like, do you have so many just hipsters that it smells like patchouli there?
I feel like Portland's not really like that anymore, but there was a time where it was very much like that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Portland's
you guys like being in Portland?
Yes.
I am
Do you think it's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm starting to get over it because of the weather, mainly. It's just... I really love being in the sun and want to be by the ocean. So I love Portland for for the community that I've been able to find here, and like the people that are here are really, really amazing. The weather's just warmer sun.
Yeah, we never should have left Thailand.
I agree. I don't know why either.
We were there like the day before. I think the day they announced it, right, was like we were trying to get our flights back, and we all looked at each other and we're like, what's this coronavirus thing? Like, if this is bad, we should just stay and live in Thailand. And looking back, we probably should have stayed and lived in Thailand.
I thought that the whole first month when I don't know how it was in Maine, but for us here, it was the trails were shut down. You weren't allowed to be outside in public nature areas either. And I remember I was just like, oh my gosh, why did I leave? I'm stuck in my room. This is crazy. It could be in the ocean and still away from everybody.
Yeah. It was when I got back, it was pretty much shut down. And I remember my roommate was sick at the time, but the test didn't even really exist to get tested at that time. And so I just kind of stayed away from him. And then a week later, all my toes they looked like big swollen purple red grapes when I woke up, and I was like, what the heck? And my dad has gout, so I called him immediately and I was like, Dad, do I have gout? He's like, that doesn't sound like gout to me. So then I Googled purple toes, and COVID toes came up. It's like a CNN article talking about some people get microclots in their hands and feet. It's normally kids, young kids with overactive immune systems. Yeah, it was Harlee, it was so weird. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. All 10 of them just swollen up like little purple grapes. But then it went away 2 days later, and I was fine.
Was it painful? Did it hurt?
It hurt to touch him, yeah. That's why I thought it might have been gout.
Huh.
Yeah, so think about that. That's me 24 hours after getting back from Thailand. I'm lying in bed. I'm like, I'm going to die. This is it. Kat's triple vaccinated, and she's had COVID twice. It's I think we're all just going to get it, man. It's the way.
Yeah, I've had it a couple times, and I'm also vaccinated, so.
I'll be honest, though. I'm not the best about it. I've been to Florida twice during all this, and I sometimes forget my mask. I'm bad.
Yeah,
but knock on wood, I'll survive.
I've definitely been out in the world for sure.
Yep. Well, you guys are doing shows, so you got to be.
Yeah.
You can't shut down the art. It's already been,
live.
However the long it's been. But I just realized too, we keep talking about coronavirus and these things, and we're gonna get flagged on YouTube for sending out misinformation. So we talked to you guys about your shows. I guess what's the next big thing coming up for you guys? In either for music or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this show. It's we kind of took a little hiatus kind of for the winter. Harlee was out of town for a while, and we just, didn't play shows for a few months so that we can write more music and work on things. And so this will be our first show back, from hiatus, essentially. And we're trying to make it a really, really special show. So we're headlining at a theater, like Harlee said, and we're just trying to have a really cool set, have some new music, play the songs kind of differently, and we kind of feel like this is a real proper introduction back into kind of the Portland music scene. Like, we've played a few smaller shows here and there, and most of our big shows have been out of the state. We played in Las Vegas, and we played in Austin, and those have been like
cool.
some of our best shows, but like they weren't here. So this will be our first real like cool headlining show, you know, in the city. I feel like
That's awesome. That's great.
it's gonna be like a fun debut for us. Yeah, so we're working really hard on.
I wish we could go.
I know.
Yeah, we'll be flying out.
Yeah.
One of these days.
Maybe we will for a weekend.
I'll be there throwing my underwear up at the stage.
Totally.
Guys.
Woo! Also too.
Showing my tits.
I'm also just really excited for us to get to work on more music together and release more music this year. We have a handful of songs that we've been playing live, you know, for a minute, but we're working on a bunch of new stuff, and we're really excited to release, you know, either an EP or a full-length album, but something that's like, you know, we've planned out from beginning to end and is more experiential than just a single. And yeah, and also too, we're gonna film a Hot-Blooded music video in April, which is really exciting. Yeah, we're really, really excited about that. And like I said earlier, we just have like so much creative talent around us, and so it's really exciting to get to be like, okay, you're directing, you're creative directing, you're art director, you'll be in charge of light, and they're like all just like our friends getting to do things that they either aren't actively doing and really like have always wanted to do. And so like, I don't know, us following our dreams is, and helping our friends follow their dreams is just like the tits.
That's awesome. I'm jealous. I want to be in that music video.
I know. I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you. It's gonna be really cool to have like visuals for it. It's just a totally different thing that we haven't dipped our toes in at all. You know, we've done like 2 little shoots together, but a music video is such a bigger thing. You know, I assume that we'll have like a whole week of like music video week, which is gonna be really awesome.
You already have like an idea, kind of what you want to do for the video, or are you just going to make it up?
Yeah, so we have a friend who has created some really awesome web series and has some directing experience, and so we basically asked him like if he had an idea for it, and he's brilliant, and his mind just came up with like this entire elaborate plan, and Keisha, who is one of our best friends, is just like an incredible artist, so he has like the meats of what the idea is, and then she's gonna like art direct it all, and so I'm really excited to see what the 2 of them come up with together.
And then do you guys have any new singles that are coming out anytime soon, just because I need more?
We're not totally sure yet. I mean, we're definitely working up. We're definitely
Don't
working
leave
on
me
new
hanging.
music.
Quit
Yeah,
hanging.
totally. We just want to, you know, there's a whole scheme to the whole thing, and so we're trying to.
Okay, I don't want to mess up your process, but I really need another bite of something.
I think that'll be sooner than later. We might just put a cover out to just keep people happy.
To appease the
Something
peasants.
that like
Good.
The Dave Matthews cover.
something,
Throw us some
yeah.
breadcrumbs.
But then we do have stuff.
I can't imagine that it will be too long. Like, we have some singles that we are interested in releasing, but we also have some like deals on the table that might help us to release something a bit more full. And so we're kind of waiting to see what happens there. So ideally we would love to put out something bigger next.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well, also, there's no rush. Like, I think you guys have proven that you're good at this, and you're probably gonna do it for life. So
Totally.
there you go.
oh, it's f***ing going down, man.
Yeah, it is. It's already happening.
Uh-huh.
So I remember. So obviously, your name, New Constellations. You know, thinks about the universe and whatnot. And then Harlee, don't you have like a tattoo of a spaceship or something, or an alien landing?
I do have an alien tattoo, or I mean a
So,
spaceship tattoo.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you. I mean, have you guys been abducted? Is that what all this is leading back to?
Not yet.
I can't imagine.
Have you heard about all the disclosure stuff going on?
Are you kidding me?
I guess what I'm saying is, are aliens real?
They are 100% real. I am fully like obsessed with alien content, I guess would be the fucking thing. So many people, I mean, I fully believe that people are like channeling alien beings and like getting abducted and having these experiences. Disclosure and also Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind by Stephen Greer are like two of my favorite documentaries. I'm very into this. This is like a huge part of my excitement for just life. So aliens are definitely real, like 100%. And I also think that they're good.
Do you think they're like green people or just like?
I think that the universe is infinite, and so I think there are infinite beings and infinite like shapes, forms, physical, non-physical. Like I think it's absolutely everything.
Are they interdimensional beings, or are they, you know what I mean? Are they demons, or what direction?
And
do you
I
go with
also, so I think that we have interdimensional beings. I think we have beings that are in this dimension that maybe we can't perceive the same way, or even like the idea that even people can be kind of like hybrids. I think that the possibilities are absolutely endless to like really, really intelligent beings.
What are the chances that Josh is an interdimensional being?
Higher than you would think.
That's what I thought. Well, Harlee, why do you think then with this closure, like they came out and more or less said like, yeah, we think aliens are real and they probably have craft and stuff.
But we're not telling you anything.
Well, but nothing happened. They were like, they disclosed that stuff in like June, and everybody, the public was just like, yep. And then everyone moved on with their lives. And
I think that we're vibrating on a pretty low frequency as like the masses. And so our actual like consciousness is pretty low. We're pretty focused on like, how do we pay for my car? You know what I mean? Like we're not like able to be in this like, in this like elevated mindset with the like kind of the like just the way society is here, which is like work, yourself into the ground, you're never enough. Like, and I think that that's kind of the problem, is that people can't even take a bird's eye view to like their own lives and our place in the universe. I think that they had to put that out because there are millions of people in the world that are like, yo, I've had contact, like you can't like hide this forever, you know? And so they like have to, but like, I don't know if you watched that movie that just came out, Don't Look Up. So it was really cool because it was like, oh, this meteor is going to hit the earth. But like at the same time, there was like a breakup of a celebrity. And so there's like this news that like the earth is going to be gone in 6 months and no one cares because everyone cares about these celebrities. And like, I believe fully that like we're fed constant information. And so like we're just not necessarily caring enough about, I don't know, big news like that. I mean, some people are, but the masses are not.
Well, do you think there's anything on the horizon? Like, do you think in the next 6 months to a year something's coming? Like, do you think they're preparing us, and that's why they did disclosure, or are we just gonna have another?
I think that they're already here. I think that they're. If you like look up, people on a daily basis are coming forward saying like, look at these videos. I had my first real like visual in when I was in Las Vegas this last year. We saw like 20 of these like basically like orbs that would like go into these forms, and then also like
you saw them yourself?
And yeah.
Oh, no kidding. I've seen those videos.
And it was the first time that, dude, and we watched it for a full hour, you know, and they're just like showing up, disappearing. Yeah, it's so crazy. But people are showing that all over the world all the time. And so like, do I think that there's some big fucking event that's going to happen? No. But do I think that more and more people are going to start being like, oh my gosh, like, we are not alone here. And also, like, how can we bridge the gap? Like, how can we communicate? Like, how are these beings, I don't know, so much more intelligent than we are? Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of that communication is honestly, like, meditative and is, like, through your consciousness. Like, I don't think it's, like, I think a lot of it isn't going to be, like, a physical, like, oh, you just came in my window and now you're here. It's like, oh, I'm, like, telling you that I'm ready to communicate, and then to communicate with you.
Yep. Also, you said you were in Vegas when you saw it. That's the thing that always made me think about it with Area 51 is it's like, okay, let's pretend it was a weather balloon, right? They wouldn't then build a multi-billion-dollar base just on a site that a weather balloon happened to crash at. They would have been like, oh, it's a weather balloon, and moved on with their lives. So the fact that Area 51 exists at all You know, and I think, like you're saying, with people not being willing to wake up, I think nowadays they are starting to slowly wake up, but also the government or whoever might have been trying to keep it under wraps realize, okay, everybody's got an HD camera in their pocket now. So, like, it's a matter of time before Harlee takes a video of the orb she saw in Vegas. You know, they can't stop it all, so.
And I think that it's to the government's, like, they want to keep us small, because the more that we stay in our just, like, stupid 9-to-5 jobs that we hate, and we literally, like, don't follow our dreams and, like, pull ourselves back and be like, oh my gosh, I can do what I want to do. The universe, like, creates with you. Like, if you throw it out there, it will reflect back to you. And, like, the big conglomerates, the huge corporations do not want us to know that, because we're a part of this machine and we're, like, keeping it running here on the bottom. And, like, I mean, I'm really excited to see how all this stuff goes, because for me, like, I was working myself into the ground, obsessed with making money, obsessed with getting on top, and I kept hearing in my head, like, you just need to rest and write. That's all you need to do. And I basically stopped making the grand majority of the money that I was, and started, like, spending the majority of my day, like, taking baths and writing and meditating and focusing inward. And I have, you know, like, messages that I feel like I receive that are like, hey, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Focus on your dreams, and everything else is going to follow. And I feel like I've been really loud about this the whole time, and I feel like I'm supposed to be. And I hope that, like, it comes into fruition, and I'm able to be like, hey, look, like, see, we just did this. Like, you can do this exact same thing.
Yep. You're 110% correct.
That.
Yeah. Any time that I've, like, fought against it and said, no, you know, the secret's all made up, and, you know, forget about positive mental attitude, it's all a joke, well, then guess what? My life goes to hell and everything sucks. So it kind of proved that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then the days where I'm like, it is what you think, and then my life starts going great. So it really does prove itself. It's the law of attraction. I'm all about that. And obviously, you can't, like, say, I'm going to win the lottery tomorrow and be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that. But in general, almost anything you can come up with, if you will it into being, you can will it into being.
And I think, too, that, like, I think people get kind of sideways with the manifesting thing, because they're like, oh, I want this, and I've been saying that I want it. But I think it's more like the root of what you want. It's like, oh, I want to sing because I want to, like, feel free and express this inside myself, and I want to feel seen by the people around me. And it's like, it's diving deeper into why you're manifesting things. And so I think that people are like, oh, I didn't get that new car, and it's like, but why did you want that car? Because you wanted people to, like, accept you more, or, like, what's the deal there? And so I think that there's just kind of a misconception on that. But I really like the idea, of it's like co-creating. Like, I'm co-creating my life with myself, and then the physical space around me that is the universe. Physical and non-physical space around me that is the universe.
It also is a difficult space, too, because I think it is kind of yin and yang. Or I guess more like an opposites attracting thing, because if you are out there saying, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, well, you're kind of projecting a sense of lacking and not having money, and therefore you're attracting being poor and not having money. So it's a really weird thing. I'm pushing 40 and I still haven't figured it out. I know it's real now. At least I admit that portion.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to make it work. I'm watching you guys do it, so I'll just start to copy your manifestations, I think.
It really is a thing about that, the, like, lack mindset in it, and it's like, I like to, like, even, I don't have a lot of money. I never have. I've never made a lot of money. I just do cool stuff, so I get attention for it. But it's never like, I'm like, oh, I'm slaying it. And I refuse now, like, if I want to buy something, or I want, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not super consumerist or materialistic, but it's like, whatever. It's like, oh, I want the more expensive almonds. It's like literally today. I was like, I'm going to buy them, because I have trust 100% that, like, I don't need to save every dollar that I make, because I know that there is an abundant amount of it that is going to come my direction eventually. So I'm going to get more expensive almonds.
I love that you just said that, because I was proud of myself the other day, because, you know, the most expensive ones of all time are macadamia nuts, right? You get like 5 of them for $20. And I bought them, and I was like, yep, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to treat myself to these macadamia nuts. I deserve it.
You know what? You deserve it. And that's the thing, is that we deserve what we want, you know? And I think that that's a really big thing that a lot of people are stepping into, is it's like, life is inherently traumatic. Like, it just is, like, and we have constantly just, like, all this negative talk in our minds of, like, why we don't deserve what we want, or it's like the love that we seek. And that's, like, one of my biggest things I'm working on right now is, like, when our brain is a machine. It's just firing shit off at us. And it's like literally going, that's a lie. That's a lie. And like saying to myself, like, oh yeah, you just lied to yourself. Like that's not true. And it's been really, really powerful to me to like call my own self out on the like bullshit that I'm telling myself all the time, you know? I think we all do that. Like,
also, the funny thing about doing that is 99% of the time, it's not even correct. You know, you'll say, oh, Bob's thinking about me. Bob's not thinking about you. He's thinking about Bob.
Yeah.
About how his tire needs to be changed on his car, you know, like.
We're all seeing the world through the lens of the lives we've lived, the traumas we've experienced. So, like, I've been thinking about this so much, too. It's like one thing can happen, and the 10 people that are involved all have their truth of what happened, and they're all completely different, but they're all still true, you know? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and to rewind to the sense of lack thing, I always think about that when my friends become single and they're chasing women. The guy that's out every night being like, I want a girl, I want to hook with a girl, he's never hooking up with the girls. And then the guy that's like, I'm fine, I don't need any girls, all of a sudden he's surrounded by women. That's how the universe works. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, the more that you're like okay with where you're at and being like, I know that I want this, but I'm also like totally cool. I have trust. There's no lack in my mind of saying I'm never going to get it. It's like, it's going to come when it's supposed to, and I'll be here chilling until it gets me.
And so, Josh, you've been silent. Do you agree with the law of attraction?
Basically, yeah. I would say ditto to 90% of what you said, for sure.
Oh, it's the 10% you disagree with.
I don't know.
now you f***ed it up. It's not going to work
I
now.
agree with
10%, Josh.
No, I agree with all of that. Totally.
Cool.
And those themes pop up in our music a lot too. Yeah, so that's part of the whole thing.
Well, now that we've talked about aliens and the law of attraction, YouTube's gonna flag this video and take it down. So
totally. Well,
wait, like, I shouldn't put that in the universe. Now I just attracted it.
Well, it's like, are you even allowed to have a podcast if you didn't touch on all of these topics, right?
Oh no, we did coronavirus, aliens,
manifestation.
I mean, I'm super excited because we touched on all the topics that are like that I'm obsessed with talking about. So thank you for allowing.
Well, also there'll be fans of yours that will listen to this whole thing right from beginning to end. But most of the people listening to this stuff, it's when it's chopped up into the clips. So it'll be all like TikTok in different places. So this one will be like Harlee Case believes in aliens. Josh, not so much. whatever we say, we'll make up some.
I'm fully in. I fully believe too. Yeah.
I'm just more in your face about shit, but we're on the same page. I'm just like,
oh, you just made me think of something. Now we're really covering all the conspiracy theory stuff. So you did a photo the other day where you were doing like the all-seeing eye thing. Did you sign with the Illuminati, Harlee? I need to know the truth because I just noticed you guys get 1 million extra plays in a month, and you have this Illuminati all-seeing eye photo.
Never.
I'll flash this on the screen. I'll show the photo for.
I just in a moment was like, what do? I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna throw this up.
So,
I don't think you're allowed.
So there's not
talk about if you're in the Illuminati. I don't think she. So what I'm saying is, even if she was, I don't think. I don't think.
Okay.
I wouldn't tell you.
Exactly.
It's just an interesting coincidence, is all I'm saying. How do I join? How can I be a member?
We can talk later about that.
They'll find you.
Yeah.
What do they say in the Masons? It's ask one to be one. So I just asked one me. Well, listen, I love you guys. This is great to meet you, Josh. This is so much fun. We'll try to post it in the next couple of days here. Because you guys will probably be famous by Friday, so we got to get it out before you get too big.
Yeah, you guys are dope. I enjoyed listening to you. I want to like have a beer and kick it with you guys.
Kat, this whole week I've been like, you need to check out their music, and she kept forgetting, so she finally listened today, and she's like, oh, these guys are great.
They're actually
dope.
It's really funny just being a musician in general that's like an undiscovered artist, because anytime you tell anyone, you're like, I'm a band, like, you should check it out. They're like, yeah, cool, whatever. And it's really awesome because people are like, every time that they actually listen to it, they're like, oh, shit, you guys are actually good. We're like, yeah, we were telling you.
Totally. Someone will text me that I've known forever, and they'll be like, dude, I finally listened to your band. Like, holy shit, I didn't even realize.
That's a great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
All right, well, I think that wraps it up, and we'll touch base with you once you're super famous and opening for Dave Matthews.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Take care, guys. You guys.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. That is the end of the episode, but stay tuned if you want to hear Kat and I do our wrap-up. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? So now we're doing the wrap up. Hey, Robin, you want to come say hi? This is my my sister-in-law, my brother's wifey wife, Robin. Bring her over here. She's very beautiful, so she'll get some extra views for us. We're at my family's. We have a family condo at Sugarloaf,
We
Maine.
get 2 feet of snow, so where else should we be?
So how awesome was that? That was a great interview.
I want to be best friends with them. I've
Yeah,
decided.
well, I think we are best friends with them now.
So yeah, that was killer.
We should ask to be the roadies. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
That was killer.
I'll send
I
her
would
a
love
DM.
to go to a show.
Could you imagine if they actually get to open for Dave Matthews at Red Rocks?
I think that they will.
Oh my god, I didn't know it was 3 days. I think we should just go to that anyway.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Where is it? Where is it?
I forget where. Wait, not Red Rocks. What is it? The Gorge.
The Gorge.
Right? I forget.
Where is it?
I can't remember, but I think it's one of Dave's favorite venues. That's why he does
I've
it
been
every
to
year.
one.
I've seen photos. It's like a big gorge, like rock.
It's New
amphitheater.
Hampshire, isn't it?
No. This is somewhere down. Let's say Texas, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Near Austin. I don't know. We probably should have looked that up beforehand. But no. So to get back to them, I thought, like Harlee was saying, for me, this podcast, I want to be able to talk about aliens, or then talk about music, or talk about whatever. So this I think we're finally slowly getting our stride. Right, we're discovering.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What chasms of the mind is. By the way, for anybody that listened to the first 3 episodes and was confused when I used to introduce it, I was debating calling it Chasms of the Mind or Chasms of the Mind because it's a play on my name, obviously, play on words that my brother came up with. My brother named this podcast. But I think we're just going to go with Chasms because that makes more sense. People are just going to think I don't know how to pronounce Chasms if I keep calling it Chasms of the Mind. And now you've joined, so it doesn't make sense to have it be about my name anymore. They aren't signed with anybody, which is cool because Kat and I are eventually going to work on some projects ourselves. So it's kind of cool to hear how they're doing it. Because Kat has done that. She'll flat out like sing me something and then text it to me.
Do it all the time. Like, what do you think about this?
And it makes me feel really guilty because it is on me to do it. And I just I keep telling her I haven't had time because I haven't had time, but I will get to it eventually. So it's cool to just hear that they run into the same issues that you and I have. Because I'm also in a band with my dad and we struggle with mastering our songs. And I might actually reach out to Josh now and find out who they use for mastering because it could be cool to see. If they could master stuff for us going forward. I just like the way that she does her marketing because she's a good photographer and it's like a kind of like a neon 80s pop aesthetic to a lot of the stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could see, I don't know if you can really see at all, but just that's her aesthetic. That's very cool. It's very pink and neon and fun. And that's why I'm going to buy some of her Lady J joints.
Just to have. I might even try it. Yeah, we don't smoke weed. I wish I smoked weed.
I know.
I did
me
in
too.
college.
That's the thing. So high school, college, I like this. So I wonder,
it.
because you know with epigenetics and genes, they say as you age or high stress situations, different genome stuff will turn off and on. I wonder if once you age past a certain point, your body stops processing THC a certain way.
Maybe.
Because it's either that or the other thing I came up with is when we're kind of old now. So when we were younger, I think the weed was just weed, and now they make like industrial.
It's just so strong, right?
If I do smoke weed now, I'll take 1 puff and be done. And people look at me funny, like, and
I don't even take a full puff. I barely and I'm like stoned.
Yeah, and I think that's
like shit. Why did I fucking do that?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with Harlee is that not that she smokes every day. I have no idea what her habits are, but I'm assuming she has a tolerance, and that's the thing that I do not have.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.
Adios, amigos. Boop.